Hello everyone, LarryR back. It is Saturday in my backyard. I'm getting ready to do one of the cooks that I love yet hate the most, and that is the steak cook on the Komodo Kamado. The reason that I'm not real fond of the cook is it's such a short cook. It's literally like a 15-minute cook. So I like to get out here and hang out, warm up the Komodo Kamado, take it nice and slow to getting up to steak cooking temps. So I'm going to go ahead and record 3 steaks that we're going to do tonight for the family. I have just loaded the Komodo Kamado with Frontier lump. This is the American, not the Mexican lump, and I far prefer this. Actually, I really like it. Another smoking friend of mine from the Komodo Kamado site turned me onto this stuff. She and I went in on quite a few bags, so only regret is I wish I would have gotten more. Other thing I want to mention is cocktail hour started a little bit early at LarryR's house today, so I'm hoping that the video quality doesn't suffer. Let me go ahead and show you how much lump I'm starting with. I had a little bit of rancher left at the bottom of the charcoal grate from my last from the chicken, the spatchcock chicken cooks. So I just went ahead and dumped a couple of pounds of the Frontier lump in, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with that. I'm going to grab my loaf lighter and just start the center and let her come up nice and slow so I can relax out here in the backyard, enjoy my cocktail, and listen to a little music. So I'll come back after I've got the fire started. Okay, I'm back. Just under 2 minutes, and I've got a nice center fire going here. I'm just going to go ahead and close up the Komodo Kamado. I will put the grate on. I'm going to be using the lower grate for steaks today. You'll see when I open it up what that looks like. And like I said, just going to throw the lower grate on. I'm also going to throw the top grate on to just burn some of the crud from the chicken cook off. And I'm just going to let this thing probably come up to about 300 degrees and then park it and let her get heat soaked while I enjoy my my Crown and Coke. So we'll be back in a little while. Okay, I'm inside now. Wanted to show you guys what we're working with today. I mentioned I'm going to salt a steak. At least I thought I mentioned it. Maybe I mentioned it on the Komodo Kamado site. Anyway, this is the steak that I'm going to salt. It's a boneless choice ribeye. It's, you know, it's average quality at best. Nothing to write home about. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and salt it with kosher salt to break down the proteins and tenderize the steak. And it turns what would normally be an average steak into a unbelievable steak. So that's my steak. Got the future Mrs. LarryR and my son's steaks here. These are some marinated New Yorks that we buy from a local meat market, and they're very good. The future Mrs. LarryR and my son love these. They've been marinated for probably a day, and they're relatively cheap for New Yorks. And I think these are choice quality. So they're pretty good. I've had them before, but I prefer a salted steak. So I'm going to go ahead and salt my steak, and I'll come back. I like to let the steak sit on the counter for at least an hour and a half, just to try to bring close to room temperature. And due to the thickness of this steak, I don't know if you can see it, it's relatively thick. It's about 1.25 pounds. I'm going to go ahead and let this salt for probably 50 minutes. So I'll be right back after I've salted the steak so you can see what it looks like. Okay, I'm back and I have salted the steak. And like I said, I'll go ahead and let this sit probably 50, maybe 60 minutes. Salted one side, then flipped it over, salted the other side. I didn't measure, but if I had to guess, I'd probably put, I don't know, maybe 1.5 tablespoons of kosher salt on. And so what I'll do is go ahead and let this sit, and then rinse it off when we're ready to throw this baby on the grill. Okay, LarryR, I'm back, and you can see we've got the steak. It's been I went about an hour on the salt, and you can see that it's sucked a lot of the moisture out of the steak, breaking down those proteins. So Now I'm going to go ahead and just rinse this off, and you can see how it's really broken down the proteins, and as you get rinsing this, it literally feels like it's going to fall apart in some areas. So I'm just going to rinse the salt off real good, and then show you how it's broken it down. So that's good. So if you can take a look at this, you can see now how the steak has started to break down. I probably could have gone a little bit more on this, but you can see how it's just literally falling. It'll literally just fall apart in your hands. So take a look at that. So it's really broken down the proteins. Now I'm going to go ahead, back up please. Now I'm going to go ahead and just put on a towel, dry it a bit, and then dry it over here. And now just let it sit with the other two steaks until we're ready to go. LarryR here, and the Komodo Kamado has been heat soaking for almost 2 hours. Cocktail hour is great. Switched over to wine, a nice Cabernet for the steak cook, and we are going to get the grill ready to go. Like I said earlier, the cook is a very fast cook, maybe 12, 15 minutes tops. So things are going to go pretty fast once we get the meat on. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. I'm going to remove that top grate that I was cleaning. Use the grill floss on it. I'm going to grill floss the bottom grate real fast, clean it a little bit, and then stir the coals a bit, and then open up the vents, the top vent, bottom vent, and I'm actually going to use the back vent as well. I like to use that for the high heat cooks. It gives me kind of an even airflow. So I'm going to go ahead and get going now. Alright, open her up. I'm going to get that top grate off that I've already cleaned. I just wanted to get her heated up. Now I'm going to use a little grill floss. Actually, I'm going to spray this baby real fast before the flames start shooting up. Then I'm going to start working her with the grill floss. I don't know if many of you have grill floss, but I'll tell you what, it works great on 3/8 stainless. It's almost the perfect shape for 3/8 stainless. So just get those clean. It's actually been a while since I've cleaned these up. That's good enough. I'm going to go ahead and remove that grate and show you what's doing inside. So, by the way, we have the luckiest woman in the world, the future Mrs. LarryR, videotaping for us now. I fired Sean, my son, after he filmed that steak. So what I'm doing here is I just want to get some of these coals stirred around. Make sure we've got kind of an even burn. So I'm just kind of moving those around, because I'm going to have steaks. Today we're only doing 3, but I just want to make sure that I've got kind of an even fire. So I like to stir those up a little bit. Now I'm going to put this this bottom grate in. Give it another shot of Pam just to lubricate her up nicely. And so now, as they say on MTV Cribs, this is where the magic happens. So I'm going to go ahead and open this bottom up. And if the future Mrs. LarryR would come around the back, I'm going to show you the back vent. It's right down here. Back side. And I like to use this. I'm going to open that back door a bit, get kind of a little more even flow. Now, if you'll come around the back side to the same position you were in, you'll see this is, if you look at the top vent, this is where the vent was to maintain 300. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, let's go 4 revolutions. So I'm going to go 4 revolutions to get the temperature I want for my steaks. I'm going to get those coals just raging. I'm probably only going to take her to maybe 600, maybe 650. Now remember, that's 600 dome temperature, and the fire's down here, and the grate's right here. So down here you're probably looking at, I don't know, maybe as much as a couple hundred degrees more. So we're going to let this baby just kind of go. I'm going to throw some corn on my Weber gasser, and we'll come back and, like I said, this is a fast cook, so it's just going to take a few minutes. So we'll see you back in a few minutes.